In tonight's doubleheader, fresh off of 37 points last night at Madison Square Garden, Steph Curry leads the Warriors into Indiana to take on the Pacers. The nightcap sees LeBron James and the defending champion Lakers take on a team with the NBA's best record, the Utah Jazz. This could be a potential playoff preview. According to ESPN's Basketball Power Index, the Lakers and Jazz is the most likely matchup in the Western Conference Finals. Utah, which hasn't been to the conference finals since 2007, has won 21 of its last 23 games, with 19 of those wins coming by double digits. The Lakers, on the other hand, have lost 4 of their last 5, which also saw Anthony Davis go down with calf and Achilles injuries. LA is hitting just 30% from 3 in those 5 games. We welcome in Mike Wilbon. Mike Wilbon, you've heard all the noise already about LeBron James. He's averaging 35 minutes a game. They're in the midst of a 3-game losing streak. But you don't want to hear all of this talk about LeBron James and his minutes. Tell us why.
It's unnecessary noise, Stephen A. I'll go back to a phrase from the last few years, fake news. This is what the greatest players do. They play as many minutes when they're 34 and 5 and 6 and 7 years old as they did when they were in their 20s. Michael Jordan, Kobe played 38 minutes per game the year he tore his Achilles. And then he played 35 minutes a game the year after he came back. Karl Malone. You know what Wilt Chamberlain did at 36 years old? He played 43 minutes a night. LeBron spoke to this very eloquently, Stephen A. It's a non-story. He is not begged off of minutes, and he's not going to. The greatest players play. Lots of minutes, and LeBron is certainly in that group.
I certainly support him. I'd like to add this before I ask you my next question. The man is in his 18th year at age 36, and he's the one that hasn't missed a game. But there's a whole bunch of stars around the league that have been missing games. Maybe somebody should speak to their conditioning experts or what have you and leave LeBron alone. Let me get to you about the Utah Jazz real quick. How legitimate do you believe they are as a threat in the Western Conference based on what you've seen this season?
Well, listen, Stephen A., we're not going to see the Lakers at full strength tonight. If we did see that, Utah would need to get this win. If they can't beat the Lakers without Anthony Davis, how are they going to beat them if Anthony Davis is healthy and back in the lineup? So Utah, the pressure's on them to show what they're made of to themselves. I mean, not to the people on the outside, but to themselves and the rest of the league. The Utah Jazz at home need to win this game. I think they're neck and neck. It's a push to me with Brooklyn. I mean, we're not going to be able to tell tonight if Utah, yes, I know you've already anointed them. In the words of the late, great Dennis Green, you crowned Brooklyn already, because that's what you New Yorkers and you East Coast people do. I'm not crowning them. Let them earn it. Even though, Stephen A., I got them 1A. It's Utah and Brooklyn, Brooklyn and Utah as we go into tonight's action.
Somehow, I bet if this was just Chicago Bulls, you would have crowned them, but I'm going to let you go on that one. I'm going to let you slide. I'll get back to you later, Mike Wilbon. In Indianapolis, the Warriors and Pacers tip off our NBA doubleheader on ESPN. Draymond Green had 12 assists in New York last night. The first game since his ejection helped lead to a loss at the buzzer in Charlotte. Let's bring in George Sedano, who will be part of the broadcast of the Pacers Warriors tonight. Draymond Green took a lot of heat after his ejection in the final second Saturday night in Charlotte, George. You talked with Steve Kerr, Coach Steve Kerr. What did he have to say about Draymond?
Stephen A., he's talked about how important that Draymond has been to this team. If you look at Draymond this year, Stephen A., he's a plus 11 when he's on the floor. That's in the top 10% of all players in the NBA this season. And they're number 4 in defensive rating this season, and that is a huge testament to what Draymond Green brings to the table for this Warriors team. And get this, on offense, Steve Kerr told me he's in essence their de facto point guard with the way the teams are defending Steph Curry this season. And in the half court this year, their offensive rating is number 7 in the NBA. Again, another big reason for that, Draymond Green.
Let me transition to rookie James Wiseman. He was out recently because of a wrist injury. Came back last night against the Knicks. 14 points in 15 minutes. Not bad. What are they expecting from him moving forward?
You neglected to mention against your New York Knicks, Stephen A. Smith.
Yes,
I want to make sure that the audience is aware of that, okay?
Yes, I did on purpose.
Well, I've talked to people about James Wiseman on this Warriors team, Stephen A., and a lot of the talk that I'm hearing is they want to give him more on offense, more responsibility, put more stuff on his plate. Perhaps we may see James Wiseman take a more lead role with the second unit and be the central focus on offense. So look out for something like that, if not tonight, in the coming games.
George Sedano working the game tonight. Warriors, Pacers. The turtleneck is slamming. It looks good on you. You just don't look too comfortable in it, Mr. Miami and LA. You don't look too comfortable, but it looks good. It looks good.
I'm a warm weather man, Stephen A., but you know what? I took it out of the Stephen A. Smith fashion book, okay? That's what I did. I saw you on First Take with one of these turtlenecks, and I said, I need to get one of my own.
The man learns well. He really, really does. Talk to you later, buddy.
Take care, sir.
As the Warriors try to keep up in the Western Conference, here while Michael Wilbon is making reference to the one and only Michael Jackson when talking about Steph Curry's expectations. Plus, with the schedule now out for the second half of the season, Adrian Wojnarowski details the potential concerns for teams in the playoff hunt.
Thursday on this edition of SportsCenter. In a new mock draft, Mel Kiper Jr.'s teams to watch that could trade up for a quarterback. Plus, measuring the gap between the Nets, Sixers, and Bucks as the best team in the East. Also, setting the stage for a statement night in college basketball with 5 top 10 teams in action. And don't miss Kornheiser and Wilbon's bonus topic. Thursday on SportsCenter at 6 Eastern, right after PTI.
How about this Big Ten college hoop doubleheader we have for you tomorrow? Number 3 Michigan sitting on top of the conference, taking on number 9 Iowa, and then Ohio State taking on Michigan State, and the Spartans coming off that win against Illinois, number 5 in the land last night.
And 7:30 Eastern, Warriors taking on the Pacers. There's Steph Curry again, still doing the soccer moves, and he makes it so easy, Kevin. Look at him. He can do anything. He can play soccer. He can dodge himself. You know he's going to hit that shot. I mean, this is Steph Curry personified, why he's an MVP candidate.
It's just good to see him back after last year's injury.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Much more from that. Of course, Stephen A. Smith getting you ready with the SportsCenter.
The state of Indiana is synonymous with the game of basketball. From the hoops on barn doors, to the mythology of the movie Hoosiers, to the legend of Reggie Miller. Tonight, the Pacers welcome the Warriors for Game 1 of our ESPN doubleheader. And there he is, the greatest shooter who has ever walked the planet Earth, the one and only Steph Curry. On the logo, y'all, on the logo. Look at that man shoot jump shot. Did it even hit the rim? Special. Past Reggie Miller on the all-time three-point shooting list earlier this season. SportsCenter, next. Ahead on this can't-miss edition of SportsCenter with yours truly. Before tonight's must-see showdown with the Jazz, Michael Wilbon explains why the talk about LeBron's extended minutes needs to end now. Plus, Steph Curry continues his dominant start. But hear why Draymond Green could be the glue holding the Warriors season together, and how a summer dominated by KD, PG-13, Kawhi, and AD quietly sparked the Jazz rise towards becoming an NBA powerhouse.
This whole narrative of LeBron needs more rest, I've never talked about it. I don't believe in it.
Let's go!